Hello everyone, David A. Qua here. I'm on my YouTube channel, but we're not going to stay here. We're going to go to, Google. And I'm going to type in I-side. Oh, there it is. Okay. Some people have been requesting me to make a video of who do I want to be the next president, right? And I heard if you can take this quiz, I'm going to tell you. Specifically why. So you're going to watch me do this quiz. And hopefully you guys know my standings and stuff like that when it comes to like politics and whatever, right? Most people's like Hillary or Trump or whatever. What do we do? Look, 43 million voters use iSideWith to find their candidate match. Let's go ahead and take this quiz. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I hear we're just going to answer some questions, and it'll tell us who to vote for. Here, let's move this over. All right. Should the government raise the federal minimum wage? Yes or no? Other stances. Okay. I guess they're recording inflation, making a living wage. Well, I kind of agree with that, but most people who are just meant for not support families. You know what? I think I'm going to choose this one. This will only cause prices to increase in a never-ending cycle. I do believe that. Like, if minimum wage goes up, so will everything else, like movie tickets and whatever, you know? How important is this to you? Yes? Yeah. Should welfare recipients be tested for drugs? Yes or no? Waste of time and money. Test anyone receiving. Only if they have a criminal history related to drug abuse. It's a waste of time and money. Should welfare recipients be tested for drugs? I'm kind of like in the middle. I'll just go with that. How about that? Make this less too. Should the government make cuts to public spending in order to reduce the national debt? Oh my gosh. This is going to take a while, guys. I'm not a big political type of guy, you know? As long as it doesn't affect video games and movies, I'm fine with, you know? Increase taxes, eliminate federal agencies that are most uncontrollable, cuts in public spending will negatively affect the economy. That actually makes sense to me. There's more? Should the businesses be required to provide paid leave for full-time employees during the birth of a child or a sick family member? Yes. Okay. I don't even need this. Yeah. Yes. Should employers be required to pay men and women the same salary for the same job? Yes. Should there be fewer or more restrictions on current welfare benefits? Fewer, more. For the sake of it, I'm just going to bring this down. Fewer insured benefits go to those that need it the most, provided do not provide enough support for replacing working income, most elderly and disabled. See, I'm not on welfare, so this doesn't really affect me. Bring it down even more. Benefits go to those that need it the most. To me, that sounds good to me. All right. Holy crap, there's more questions? Should the government require businesses to pay salaried employees making up to 40 time and a half for overtime hours? Sure. Should the U.S. raise or lower the tax rate for corporations? Maintain the current rate, increase for large ones, but lower for small businesses. That sounds good. Keep current rates, but eliminate deduction and loopholes. This doesn't. I don't even have my own. There. How's that? Do you believe labor unions help or hurt the economy? Help. Should the government increase the tax rate or profits earned from the sale of stocks, bonds, and real estate? What? No increase in capital gains. Capital gains are the profits earned from investment managers pay 15 to 20%. First of all, move this down here. Increase the tax rate or profit? I don't know. I'll just pick no for now. Should the Federal Reserve Bank be audited by Congress? What is that? Like I said, this is not my usually, like, I don't study government or anything like that. I mean, I took government as part of my bachelor requirements, but that's about it. We deserve to know who the bank gives money to. Prefer to abolish and return to gold standard. Yeah. Do you support the Trans-Pacific Partnership? What? There's a trade deal that would make it easier for American companies to sell their goods and services in Pacific Rim countries. It will bring economic growth to all countries involved. There are too many hidden provisions. Should the current estate tax rate be decreased? Should the government subsidize farmers? Subsidize? A farm subsidy is a form of financial aid paid to farmers by the government. Only for whatever. Would you favor an increased sales tax in order to reduce property taxes? I wouldn't mind. See, I live in two cities, and one's like double the tax of the other. Decreased taxes for senior citizens. Property taxes are most reliable and most dramatically reduce government spending and raising taxes. What on earth? There's more questions related to economy. I want to move on. Should the pension plans for federal, state, and local government workers be transitioned to privately managed accounts? Only for future workers. Pension spending is out of control. It must be reduced. Privately managed accounts will jeopardize senior citizens. That sounds more positive. Here, we'll raise this down. Should the government use economic stimulus to aid the country during times of recession? Yes. Should the U.S. citizens be allowed to save or invest their money in offshore bank accounts? Yes. Click yes. As long as offshore income is reporting, yeah, move it down there. There's more. Should the U.S. government bail out Puerto Rico? What's up with Puerto Rico? On May 2nd, 2016, the government of Puerto Rico failed to make debt payments to the U.S. government. In response, the U.S. government has considered providing funding for a bailout or allow a default and equals. Measures is necessary to prevent a humanitarian crisis, make them the 51st state. Puerto Rico needs to drastically reduce the irresponsible spending. Prevent a humanitarian crisis. Okay, I'm just going to pick this one. I don't want a humanitarian crisis. Should the pension payments be increased for retired government workers? Should an in-state sales tax apply to online purchases of in-state buyers from out-of-state sellers? Allows retailers who do not have a physical location in their state and have $1 million per year. Exempting online retailers from sales tax is not fair to traditional stores. The federal government does not have the authority to impose state and local taxes. Should the government classify Bitcoin as a legal currency? No. I'm not comfortable with digital money yet. Okay, let's move on. Healthcare issues. Finally, something that's a little more. Do you support the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. I have Obamacare. Government should not be involved in health care. Allow consumers to choose providers and help them from other countries. But a mandatory single-payer system would be even better. I support a majority of plans, but not all aspects. I support a majority of the plan, but not all aspects. Okay, that's actually kind of true for me. Should the government regulate the prices of life-saving drugs? Shorten the lifespan of drug patents. The government should never regulate the prices of private businesses. Limiting drug prices would also limit their investment in research and development to new life-saving drugs. And the government should regulate the prices of all prescription drugs. Should socialize medicine and healthcare. Limiting drug prices would also limit the investment in research and development in new life-saving drugs. That sounds good to me. Do you support the legalization of marijuana? But only for medicinal use. Initially release anyone serving time solely for drug offenses. Instead of criminalizing it. Legalize, tax, and regulate marijuana instead of criminalizing it. Do you support the legalization? Okay, that sounds okay for me. Okay. Should the federal government increase funding of health care for low-income individuals? That's it. That's all for health care. Okay. Let's move on. Where do you side on social issues? What is your stance on abortion? Pro-choice, pro-life. I am Catholic. Well, I was raised Catholic, and I'm supposed to be pro-life, but here, pro-life, but allow in the case of rape, incest, or danger to the mother of the child. Okay, that's fine for me. Do you support legalization of same-sex marriage? Allow some use, but don't call it marriage. Marriage should be woman. Take the government out and instead make it a religious decision. Yes, we allow churches the right to refuse things. Yeah. Yes. Do you support the legalization? But allow churches the right to refuse. Okay. Yeah, just let it be separate. Okay. Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? So they're already funding it? Planned Parenthood is a nonprofit organization that provides provide the information. Okay, stick with that. Should gay couples have the same adoption rights as straight couples? Yes. Should a business be able to deny service to a customer if the request conflicts with the owner's religious beliefs? Well, kind of. Only for small businesses. Businesses should be able to deny service for any reason. Owners should post a sign stating their beliefs. All customers deserve to be treated equally. Only for small businesses. Yeah. Should the health insurance providers... I'm in the middle for that, by the way. It can go either way. Should health insurance providers be required to offer free birth control? No, it should be covered under description. The government should support abstinence programs instead. We should not decide what services a private business can provide, except for religious organizations and charities that oppose the use of them. Should health insurance providers be required to offer free birth control? Yes, except for religious organizations. Okay. Should gender identity be added to anti-discrimination laws? No, repeal anti-discrimination law for private companies. There are only two genders, which are only and the government should do more to protect minorities from discrimination. The government should do more to protect minorities from discrimination. To me, that sounds good, so we'll pick that. Should the government support a separation of church and state by removing reference to God on money references? In God we trust. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Let's see. No, as long as there's no religion is an creates a bias against religion and do not waste money removing. Should the government support a separation of church and state? Yes, but do not waste money removing existing references. Okay. We'll just go with that one. Do you support the death penalty? Kind of. Yes, but only for horrific crimes with undeniable evidence. Yes. Okay, we'll go with that one. These are tough, by the way, because, I'm raised to believe it was a certain way, you know what I mean? Should marital rape be classified and punished as severely as non-marital rape? What? Marital rape is non-consensual sex in which the perpetrator is the victim's spouse. Classified domestic violence. Marriage provides legal opportunity for spouse to have sex with another spouse. Yes, for the spouse under the age of 18 should be classified as statutory rape. What is this? Should marital rape be classified and punished as severely as non-marital rape? Non-consensual sex with a spouse under the age of 18 should be classified as statutory rape. A spouse under the age of 18? Bam. Who cares? There. Should terminally ill patients be allowed to end their lives via assisted suicide? Sure. Well, what else? Understand the choices. There it was. Yes. I say yes, but when asked particularly why, Should military allow women to serve in combat roles? No, women are physically capable in combat high-risk situation for sexual assault. Men are more likely to risk the success and prevent women from serving combat roles as discriminatory as long as they can pass the same physical test as men. As long as they can pass the same physical test as men. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Should businesses be required to have women on their board of directors? Yes. Should states be allowed to display the Confederate flag on government property? Oh, man. Okay. No, but. Okay. Racism. That's true. Each state should have the right to display any flag they choose. Kind of. Where it was originally flown. Okay. I agree with that. Yes, I'll just stick with that. But make it like this. Yeah, at least. Okay. Should women be allowed to wear a niqab or face veil? Okay. Like Muslims, people who believe in Islam and stuff. To ceremonies. Yes. Okay, that's it for all that. That was tough. Where do you side on science issues? Okay. Should the federal government require children to be vaccinated for preventable diseases? Yes, but only for deadly contagious diseases. Secondary adults' religious beliefs forbid use of vaccines. They are essential to protecting their children who are too young to be vaccinated. No, but hold parents liable. No fun campaigns about the risks and benefits instead. But require vaccination in order to attend public schools. So the government require children to be vaccinated by preventable diseases. Yes, but no. Require vaccination in order to attend public schools. Sure. Should producers be required to label genetically engineered foods? Do you support the use of nuclear energy? We're moving right by these. Should the government fund space travel? The government should leave human space travel to private companies. The government should not fund any space exploration mission. We should focus on saving the Earth instead of leaving it. No, NASA's budget should only be in military missions. No, only. You know what? Yes, I do like space travel. Where do you side on environmental issues? Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? Global warming or climate change is an increase in the Earth's atmospheric temperature since the late 19th century. Yes, I know that. Tax carbon emission. Global warming is a natural occurrence. Provide more incentives for alternate instead. Provide more incentives for alternate energy production. Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? Increase, keyword there. Provide more incentives for alternate energy production instead. Don't increase it. Provide more incentives for alternative energy. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stick with that one. Do you support the use of hydraulic fracking to extract oil and natural gas resources? What does that mean? Fracking is the process of extracting oil or natural gas from shale rock. Water, sand, and chemicals are injected into the rock at high pressure, while fractures the rock and allows the oil or gas to flow out. Sounds fine to me. Doesn't look like it's hurting anyone. You know what I mean? Should the U.S. expand offshore oil drilling? And all, no, don't do that. Naturalize the energy sector, maintain our current offshore oil. Provide more incentives for alternate energy production. That's a no. It's going to be one of these two. Okay? I'm picking one of those two. So, should the government give tax credits and subsidies to the wind power industry? End all tax credits to the energy industry. Wind power is an inferior alternative. Government should support more sustainable energy technologies. That's what I think I stand. Where do you side on immigration issues? Oh, wow, this is big right here. Should illegal immigrants have access to government subsidies, health care? Yes, if they pay taxes. Grant concession. They should be deported after treatment, but only for life-threatening emergencies or infectious diseases. But they should be allowed to purchase private health care. And the government should never subsidize health care. And deport illegal immigrants. But their children should have access. I like that one. Deport after treatment. I like this one, okay? Yes, but they should be deported after treatment, but only after life-threatening emergencies or infectious disease. I kind of like that one too. But they should allow to I like that one also. So this one. No, the government should never subsidize health care. I kind of agree with that too. But I'm not sure. That's a good question. Should illegal immigrants have access to government subsidized health care? No. But they should allow private health care. Yes, I think that's okay. Well, I'm fine with that. Okay. Should Muslim immigrants be banned from entering the country until the government improves its ability to screen out potential terrorists? Yeesh. Ban all immigrations until the government improves its screening. No. Banning immigrants based on their religion is unconstitutional. Yes. But we should ban immigrants for high-risk countries. Now, let's stick with that. Should Muslim immigrants be banned from entering the country? No. banning immigrants based on their religion is unconstitutional. Okay, that sounds okay for me. Should illegal immigrants be offered in-state tuition rates at public colleges within their residing state? As long as they pay taxes, but they're not eligible for financial assistance and scholarships. They should be eligible for financial assistance and scholarships. They should pay the same rate as out-of-state students. And illegal immigrants should be deported. I want them to have a good education, you know. They should pay the same rate as out-of-state students. I like that one, but I like this one too. Deny them financial aid and scholarships. They should, okay, I'll go with that one. Should illegal immigrants be offered in-state tuition rates? They should pay the same state rate as out of. Okay, that works for me. And actually bring it down a little bit too. Less important. Should children of illegal immigrants be granted legal citizenship? Yes, if they were born. Okay, we'll just stick with that one. Should immigrants be required to learn English? No, but we should embrace the diversity in our country. I want to say no, right? I just want to say why. Like, I just don't want to click on these. So I'm going to stick with no. We should embrace the diversity that immigrants add to our country. Yes, okay. Since my family immigrated here themselves, you know. Should the U.S. increase restrictions on its current border security policy? Enforce the current border policy. We should implement an open border policy. Make it easier for immigrants to access temporary work visas and allow border states to manage their own security policies. Should the U.S. increase restrictions? No, but make it easier for immigrants to access temporary work visas. We should implement an... Yeah, I guess we'll go with that. Should working illegal immigrants be given temporary amnesty? What's that? Amnesty is an act passed by federal government which grants immunity from immigration laws to undocumented immigrants. Okay. Should working illegal immigrants be given temporary amnesty, but allow them to stay? Find companies to employ. Yes. Create a simple path to citizenship for immigrants with no criminal record. Yes, but only if they pay taxes. I like these last three. Or these two. Find companies that employ illegal immigrants. Find them, yeah. And yes, create a simple path to... I like these two, but I don't know which one to pick. We'll just stick with that one, I guess. Should local law enforcement be allowed to detain illegal immigrants for minor crimes and transfer them to federal immigration authorities? Ugh. I don't think I'm qualified to even vote. All right. Should local law enforcement be allowed to detain illegal immigrants for minor crimes if they are only convicted for a violent crime? Too many non-violent immigrants are being deported. All legal immigrants should be turned over to federal authorities and deported if they are convicted of a violent crime. A violent crime. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pick up that one. Onward. Should the U.S. increase or decrease the amount of temporary work visas given to high-skilled immigrant workers? Keywords. Increase or decrease. Sets up the current amount. Decreasing ownership provide more incentives to prepare citizens for these jobs. Increase or relies on these businesses hiring the highest at lowest costs. Companies are taking risk advantage of this program to decrease wages. Our economy relies on businesses hiring the highest skilled workers at the lowest cost. The government should provide more incentives to prepare our own citizens for these jobs. I move this down because I don't know. Increase. Economy relies on highest skilled workers. Okay, we'll just go with that one. Okay, where do you side on education issues? Do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loans? Increase government funding so every student receives a free college education. All current government student loans into private managed account. Well, that sounds good. Every student receives a free college education. That sounds good to me. Do you support Common Core national standards? I learned about this in school, too. I'm in school to be a teacher, FYI. But we'll help improve our national average and prepare for students for customized implementation should be handled at the state and local. We'll just stick with that one. Will help improve our national average and better prepare students for college. That sounds good to me. Should police offer... Okay, criminal issues. This is a new topic. We're almost at the bottom, seemingly. Should police officers be required to wear body cameras? Yes. Should convicted felons have the right to vote? Every citizen deserves the right to vote. Felons convicted of murder or violent crimes, but only after completing their sentence and parole probations. It's a yes, right? I just gotta pick one of these. Okay. Should prison ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles? Currently being overused. It is necessary for violent criminals who are a danger to themselves and other inmates. We should create social programs to help prevent and rehabilitate criminals. Should prisons ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles? It is necessary for violent criminals who are a danger to themselves and other inmates. Let's go with that one. Even though this is good too. But I'll just vote for that one. Where do you side on foreign policy issues? Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria? But only accept families. No single Muslim men. But we should accept much more than the proposed 10,000. Yes, but we should accept much more than the proposed 10,000. Okay, that sounds good to me. Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights? Give them a fair trial and shut down Guantanamo Bay, just like U.S. citizens. Terrorists should be given a fair trial in federal court. They should be tried in military tribunal but not subject to torture. They are not U.S. citizens and do not have constitutional rights. Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights? Foreign terrorism suspects. They should be tried in military tribunals but not subject to torture. Give them a fair trial. I like this. Heck, I like all of them, to be honest. We'll just go with that one. They should be tried in military tribunals but not subject to torture. I like that. Should every 18-year-old citizen be required to provide at least 1 year of military service? Should be a choice instead of an obligation. Yeah. Should the military be allowed to use enhanced interrogation techniques such as waterboarding to gain information from suspected terrorists? Only as last resort. Yes. Okay. Only if they are convicted terrorists, but must use any means necessary to prevent terrorism. Oh, that's last resort. Okay, we'll just stick with that one. Should the U.S. formally declare war on ISIS? I kind of want them to, but sending ground troops, only with, target airstrikes, but only with full cooperation from the United Nations. No, we should not. We should stay out of Middle Eastern conflicts. We should not. Stay out of Middle Eastern conflicts. Not until they attack us. Yeah, okay. No, not until they attack us. Should the U.S. formally declare war on ISIS? Well, okay. We'll go with that. I don't want a war as much as you guys do. Should the U.S. remain in the United Nations? Yeah. Should the U.S. continue to support Israel? Sure. The U.S. currently gives $3 billion, really, to Israel every year. Oh well. Let's move that down. Should the government increase or decrease military spending? Neither. I'm satisfied with the current amount of spending. See, I'm in no authority to know what's going on with. That's neutral to me. Should the U.S. send ground troops into Syria to fight ISIS? I don't want them to. Send a few hundred troops, but only as a coordinated effort by the United Nations. Not until they attack. Yeah, we'll just go with the same thing we did last time. We should stay out of this conflict. I would like that too. I agree with this one. Okay. I like this one. I like this one. And I like this one. Should the military fly drones over foreign countries to gain intelligence and kill suspected terrorists? Only with permission from the country in question. U.S. needs to use all means necessary to combat terrorism. Military has no right to do so without a congressional declaration of war. Only to gather intelligence, not to kill suspected terrorists. Only to gather intelligence. Okay, I think that's okay. Should the U.S. increase or decrease foreign aid spending? The United States currently gives $31 billion. The top 10 recipient countries include Afghanistan, Israel, Egypt, Jordan. I am satisfied with the current amount of spending. Decrease until we drastically reduce our national debt deficit. And we should not give foreign aid to any country. Increase, but only for countries that have no human right violations. I would choose this one. I would choose this one. I would choose this one. It's too bad we can't choose multiple ones. It should be multiple mark. And they balance it out based on our answers, I think that would be better. Should the U.S. close the military prison at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba? Yes, it's a waste of money and resources. Provide a fair trial and transfer the convicted to maximum security prisons. That sounds expensive, too. Most of the detainees are too dangerous to be released or transferred. No, but apply rules on and the use of torture. What? Way down there. We should use all means necessary to combat terrorism, but apply rules of the Geneva Convention and end the use of torture. Most of the detainees are too dangerous to be released or transferred. It's unconstitutional to indefinitely hold suspected terrorists without trial. We'll go with that one. I like this one. I like this one. And I like this one also. like I said, I wish we could just mark multiple ones and have them balance it out for us, you know? Do you support President Obama's move to lift the trade and travel embargo on Cuba? I don't know. I'm going to order the Cuba and order list 54 years to the country. Do you support President Obama's move to lift trade and travel embargo on Cuba? What should I say? I don't think it even matters if I do that. Here, we'll do that. We move to lift the trade and travel embargo on Cuba. So we're not trading with them? Order lifted a 54-year-old trade embargo and ease restrictions on banking Americans' travel to the country. Should the U.S. conduct military strikes against North Korea in order to destroy their long-range missiles and nuclear weapon capabilities? We should let China address this issue. We should use every diplomatic option first. I'm not convinced that North Korea has or is capable of developing a long-range. We cannot risk the launch of a nuclear weapon. We must use every diplomatic option first. Okay. Should the U.S. overthrow President Assad of Syria? Should the U.S.? No. What other options are there? This would allow ISIS to control Syria. You can ask this for whatever. I don't even know enough about what's going on to answer these questions. Should the U.S. provide military aid to Saudi Arabia during its conflict with Yemen? Any president was removed from office during a civil war with the... Okay. Then we were led by former president who was removed from power during the 2011 Arab Spring. Okay. What options do we have? This would prevent Iran from gaining too much power from the Middle East. We should stay out of conflicts that are not an immediate threat to our security. Fine. Should the U.S. continue NSA surveillance of its allies? Spying on our surveillance to damage our reputation abroad. They're tracking potential terrorist threats. See, I like this one, and I like this one. That's like right in the middle. Because I'm saying yes and no. Spying on our allies really damages their reputation abroad. I do agree with that. Surveillance of all foreign countries is essential to tracking potential terrorist threats. I do agree with that one too. Yes and no. Okay, next one. Should the U.S. defend other NATO countries that maintain low military defense budgets relative to their GDP? Their what? We should withdraw from NATO. We should defend any NATO countries, or refusing to defend other NATO countries. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization is an intergovernmental military alliance formed by 28 countries in 1949 after the Second World War. To join NATO, each member country pledged to spend at least 2% of their GDP on military spending and defense and defend each other against threats. Okay. Should the U.S. defend other... Yes. Okay, onward. Should the U.S. prevent Russia from conducting airstrikes in Syria? Declare war on Russia? Heck no. Establish a no-fly zone. We should let the Russians take out ISIS. We should not get involved. Okay. Should the U.S. provide military assistance to defend Ukraine from Russia? Ukraine? In March 2014, Russian soldiers entered Ukraine and took over several strategic positions within the country. The following months, the Ukrainian parliament declared that its territory was officially being occupied by Russia. The invasion was immediately condemned by the U.S. and other UN member states. We should pursue diplomatic options instead. We should stay out of conflicts that do not directly threaten us. The Russian invasion of the Ukraine threatens the power in the region. We should provide them weapons to defend themselves, but not send our troops. We should stay out of conflicts that do not directly threaten us. Okay. We're really close to the bottom. Look at this. But then you know how it expands? Should a photo ID be required to vote? Yes. Should there be a limit to the amount of money a candidate can receive from a donor? Not really. As long as all donations are public knowledge, sure. This is a violation of free speech. I agree with that too. Okay, onward. Should the political candidates be required to release their recent tax returns to the public? Sure. Should the presidential debates... go back to that. Yeah, okay. Should the presidential debates include candidates with less than 50% of support in national polls? What? See, this is why the Commission of Presidential Debates is a private non-profit firm which has sponsored and produced nationally televised presidential debates since 1987. Well, only candidates have a realistic chance of winning should be included. Yes, and we should reform to allow. Okay. Where do you side on domestic policy issues? Should there be restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun? Only for criminal and mentally ill. Increase penalties for gun-related crimes. Government should pass a national stand-your-ground law. Require a strict background check, psychological testing, and training. Yeesh. But only for closing the gun show loophole. Ban all guns from public use. Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun? We'll make that least. More restrictions. That's the question here. Should there be more restrictions on current process? So there's already a process already. 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings. Yes, I am aware of that. Let's go with that one. I don't know. Only for criminal and mentally ill. Current process of purchasing a gun. Does this mean they have to already be convicted as a criminal and mentally ill before they buy the gun? Because that's... There. Increased penalties for gun-related crimes. Okay. That'll let them think before they do, right? Hopefully. Do you support affirmative action programs? Affirmative action policies encourage the increased representative member of a minority group. In the U.S., these policies are often enacted by employers and... Okay. What? Drastically increase the current amount of programs. Minority groups should not receive any favorable treatment. Regardless, we should create more social programs to address poverty. Regardless, yes. Are you in favor of decriminalizing drug use? Most but not all drugs. Regularly reduce sentence for those already serving time. We should pass tougher drug laws. Are you in favor of decriminalizing drug use? Congress passed the manufacture, importation, possession, use, and distribution of certain drugs. Yes, but not all drugs. Okay, that's fine with me. Should local police increase surveillance and patrol of Muslim neighborhoods? No. Should the Senate hold hearings and a vote on President Obama's Supreme Court nominee? What? He nominated Judge Merrick Garland as his choice to replace Justice. Senator Garland stated that the next Supreme Court justice should be nominated by the next president. He's too liberal. The Senate should wait for the next president's nominee. The current nominee is too conservative. The Senate should follow their constitutional responsibility. The Senate should follow their constitutional responsibility. Okay, I'll pick that one. It just sounds good to me. Should corporations and unions, super PACs, be allowed to donate to political candidates? Do whatever you want with your money, you know? Should there be term limits set for members of Congress? A term limit is a law that limits the amount of time a political representative may hold an elected office. The term limit will increase performance and prevent corruption. Officials gain valuable experience and become more effective representatives over time. Let's pick that one. Like, I do agree with both of them. You know, if we change it up a little bit, it may help. But people do gain more experience. But some people, they're so stubborn. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with that one. Oops. Should victims of gun violence be allowed to sue firearms dealers and manufacturers? Should victims of no. It's saying if someone kills someone with something, should we sue the firearms dealers and manufacturers? Because no, you know, it's about who holds the gun. Should people on the no-fly list be banned from purchasing guns and ammunition? What was that? Ban the sales of anyone, but not until no-fly list screening process is approved. If the government considers you too dangerous to board a plane, you should not be able to buy a gun. This is a slippery slope to eventually ban the sales of guns to anyone. It is unconstitutional to deny someone's right without due process. Okay, it's a no for sure. I like this one. I like this one. Okay, we'll go with that one. Should Apple unlock the iPhones of suspected terrorists for FBI? Backdoors can expose innocent owners to malicious hackers, but only in situations where the owner is proven a threat to national security. But only for this specific request and do not allow future access. Proven threat to national security. Okay, we'll go with that one. Should internet service providers be allowed to speed up access to popular websites that pay higher rates at the expense of slowing down access to less popular websites that we learn? No. Should the NSA be allowed to collect basic metadata of citizens' phone calls, such as numbers, timestamps, and call durations? Only if a warrant. Abolish the NSA. Basic data collection is necessary. Okay, here. Only with a warrant showing probable cause of criminal activity. Okay, that sounds good to me. Should the redrawing of congressional districts be controlled by an independent, nonpartisan commission? What? Currently, the restricting of congressional boundaries is controlled by state legislatures every 10 years. Gerrymandering is the redrawing of districts with the intent of benefiting a political party. It's most often implemented by state political parties with the intent of marginalizing districts. What? Boom. Should the redrawing of congressional districts be controlled by an independent, nonpartisan commission? allows officials to more effectively represent the interests of their constituents. It gives an unfair advantage to the party in power during, which is the multi-member means of selection. This no, we'll just go with that. Do you support the Patriot Act? In response to 9/11, the Patriot Act expanded intelligence gathering capabilities, including monitoring of foreign financial transactions, detaining and deporting immigrants, limit the scope of the government's power, pass strict laws prohibiting any government surveillance, limit the scope of the government's power. We'll just go with that one. Should the government raise the retirement age for Social Security? No. Should the government be allowed to seize private property with reasonable compensation for public or civic use? Unless an oil pipeline project. The government should never be allowed to seize private property. I like that. As long as landowners are fairly compensated, but only if landowners are compensated drastically. But only for public project. You know what? I like this one. This one, right? But I also like this one also. If they're compensated drastically above fair market price. But extreme cases of national emergency. Yeah. So if you do take your stuff, they gotta pay for it. And they do take it. It's for extreme cases of national emergency. Like, I keep thinking about, what was it, like Thor or something? Yeah, in the movie Thor, they took all their research and stuff like that. But it's compensated. You do all this research. Okay, we'll go with that. Should the U.S. government grant immunity? But FYI, it's yes and no. Okay, here, we'll do this. Should can't speak. How much more do we have? Gosh darn it. Should the U.S. government grant immunity to Edward Snowden? Oh, yeah. Investigate the CIA and NSA directors instead. He should be protected under Whistleblower Protection Act. We should be returned to the U.S. and stand trial and face the consequences of his actions. But investigate the... He should be returned to the U.S. to stand trial and face the consequences. Yeah, stand trial. Fine with me. Should hunting, fishing, and harvesting wildlife be constitutional right? This law is a waste of time. This is necessary to protect sportsmen's rights. Amendment 1 amends Kansas' Constitution. Amendment 1 amends Kansas' Constitution to guarantee people's right to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife. What is the... Suggest another important question that should be added to this quiz. Someone added this one. Okay, so we know you are human. Answer a service question to continue reading this content. Do you work with IT in one of these roles? No, I don't work in IT. Show my results. Okay, here it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Who should I vote for? Who are these guys? They're not in the debates or anything. All I see are these two. Okay. I side with Hillary Clinton on most 2016 presidential election issues. And there's the lowdown. Candidates you side with: Hillary Clinton when it comes to healthcare, environmental, educational, and criminal-related topics. Who's Gary Johnson? I never heard these people before. Look, I might as well vote for this guy or her. Donald Trump, 33. I like. Wait, what's this? America will not tolerate Trump's treatment. What is this? Ignore. Show more candidates. Show dropped out candidates. Look, there's everyone. Ben Carson, Jeb Bush. Look, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. I was going to vote for this guy too. I wanted him. I like Bernie Sanders. Criminals. I would write in Bernie Sanders if I had. So here's the lowdown, guys. Here's the full list. Hillary Clinton the most, followed by Bernie Sanders. Okay, Donald Trump right here, 33%. I don't agree with Ted Cruz or Ben Carson at all, apparently. Jeb Bush least. I don't even know. The Rick Santorum. It's been a while since I've heard his name. Share your results. Oh, save your results and share yours. Okay. It's kind of a spoiler alert for people, huh? Tweet. Do you want to follow I side with? No, close. All right. There it is, everyone. Candidates you side with by issue. Hillary Clinton for healthcare. Gary Johnson for science. Like, there were so many things less important. Yes, you see this? Okay, that's it. Now, I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders. I like Bernie Sanders. I'm going to write him in. But there's FYI. If you want to leave, wait, David, why would you side with Hillary? Just watch the whole video. All right? Just watch the entire video. And you'll know why. Everything is there, you know? Well, that's it. Thank you for watching, everyone. Rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Talk guys later.